Hello, hello, hello. This is Pastor Jay of Walker Truth Radio Network. I am testing out my new mic and just come on to talk to you guys a minute about some stuff that's going on in this world. Stuff that's going on, and especially when it comes to um, the rate of infections out here. What do you guys think? What should we do? There's people that say that we should quarantine. There's people that say that we should wear masks. What should we actually do? I would love to see what you say in the comments on what we should do and how we should proceed. This now that this seems to be increasing and people are getting sick again. What should we actually be trying to do now? It's just fascinating to me what's going on right now, and everybody has an opinion and everybody has a thought behind it, and it seems as if we are at odds with each other in America with what we should do next, including the economic problem with all these jobs out here. And it seems like nobody's trying to fill them. And then we have the political issue of the extreme left and extreme right, where it seems as if they could just come together in the middle and agree upon something that will help move the people forward. But there's more money in argument than there is in solving and making solutions. Because if you think about it, you can continue to ask for more money if there's a problem, but if you solve the problem, then you wouldn't need the money. It's just like the criminal justice system. It fuels itself. It goes through cycles of letting out and then incarcerating, letting out, then incarcerating. If you lived in the United States at any length of time, you will notice the cycle that it keeps fueling itself. Let crime go up. You need more police officers. You need more judges. You need more jails. Jails get crowded and it seems to outpace what the taxpayers want to do. So then you do something else. You start releasing, then the cycle starts again, and and it seems like neither political party is equipped to deal with the issue of today of the humanity. And the one thing I would like to say that I believe with all my heart is that you can't legislate love. You can't go out here and tell people by the law what to do. The law is weak to the flesh. That's what the Bible teaches, and it's so true. All these laws on the books, state, local, and federal. And we have more people incarcerated in the United States than any other country, but yet we are the freest, supposedly the freest country, but yet we're the most incarcerated country. These are things that you need to think about. What's the problem? Because neighbor doesn't love neighbor. Everybody has their political bent, their ethnic bent, their social bent, their cultural bent. Everybody does what is right in their own eyes. That's from Judges. We call left right, right left, good bad, evil good. And as long as you get to do what you want to do, we have divided the society up into so many segments that there can be no cohesiveness. Even in the LGBTQ community, just the fact they're divided up into so many segments, so it's hard for them to get on board with anything that will move whatever forward. I mean, same thing with the racial tensions that's in this country. Everybody wants to go their own way with this, but there's some basic principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and there's money in wokeism. There's money in racism. There's money in the fighting. Even in YouTube, there's been this phenomenon for the past couple of years between some very influential YouTubers that are African American that they are beefing with each other. And that's how they get their content. They get their content from beefing with each other. I'm trying to put out positive content on a regular basis, and I can get anybody to listen to it. But if I put out some beef, some tea, we call it tea, you can get everybody to listen to you. All you got to do is pick a celebrity and start beefing with them. Or now the celebrities are the YouTube vloggers, and they're beefing with each other, and their content is based on beefing with each other. And they're coming to find out they don't even know each other. They don't even know each other for real. Just listen to the beef, and I'm not gonna give their names because they got enough subscribers. But all you got to do is start looking them up, and you'll see there's this beef between African American vloggers, where there's room for all of their opinions. And to be honest with you, I like all of their opinions. All their opinions provoke thought. As far as truth is concerned, each one believes they have truth on their side. And I would challenge them and say, as much truth as you believe that you have a lot of error, a lot of hatred, a lot of little kiddism. You said this about me, so I'm going to say this about you. You come for me, I'm going to come for you. I get that. I get that. But how's that moving forward the agenda of unity in our community? And then the Caucasian vloggers, they don't really beef like that. What is it in us that the negative is more attractive than the positive? I would love to support a YouTube channel where we have African American children that are out here doing great things, getting scholarships, doing all kind of programs and achieving different things, and the whole channel is devoted to that. I would love to start a project like that with somebody, but we probably wouldn't get any listeners. We probably wouldn't get any viewers. But I think we need to start accentuating the positive and letting the negative be. The negative is going to always be there, but it's the positive that seems to not be catching root in America. It's always a negative. This group fighting that group, and in the middle, somebody's making money. It's almost like that Three Stooges short that I always like to look at, whereas the Stooges were basically stooges, and these two rich guys were betting on is it nature or nurture. And the one said, I can make them into gentlemen. And they made a wager, and them being rich, you would think that it was a large wager, but it was just a small wager. But the key was they were playing the Stooges as fools. And their wager was actually small. So it's a game that they play. Have you ever figured out yet that there's no difference between a Democrat and a Republican, that they play off each other with good people in the middle believing that these people really care about you? Two ways to become rich in America: hard work or politics. Normally, if you're in politics for any length of time, you become rich. You may start off poor to middle class, but eventually you become a millionaire. And that's another way to get rich. And the way you get rich in politics is always have an adversary. You're always on campaign. You always have a constituents you want to please. So whoever has the most constituents inside a certain community will win. And then on the backs of that, dynasties are being built. Right here where I live at, there's a dynasty that was built for 35, 40 years in Congress. Do you think 35 years ago they wasn't a millionaire? But why is it now they're a millionaire? And what did they do? Play the system. My dad used to say something I think is so important that we need to tell our young folks. My dad said this to me: play the fool, don't be the fool. And what he meant by that is there's a system that's set up that perpetuates itself that nobody can change. And when I was young, I thought I could change the system. I thought that the system would change, but it's nothing changed. It's just the players in the game. But the system rolls on because the system in America, the richest country in the world, needs to perpetuate itself to capitalism. And capitalism says the best, the brightest, the most innovative, and the one who's willing to oppress and step on and step out in and on people were the ones that be successful and get the prize. You can be altruistic once you make all the money. Once you've done whatever it takes, you do whatever you have to do. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the reality is this system perpetuates itself and it causes a lot of problems on one end, but then it makes millionaires and billionaires on the other end that can actually spend the money and do the things that nobody else can do. But the problem is the gap between the have and have nots are getting larger. And the people in the middle think it's a white black thing, or it's a male female thing, or it's a heterosexual homosexual thing. And those people who understand the game love for this fight to continue. Mask unmasked thing, Republican Democrat, it's all evil. And yes, I have to live in it. I have to function through it. I have to go through it. but I don't have to agree with it. And I don't have to validate it. Because I live in it doesn't mean I validate it. And then this validation thing where we want other people who have opposing views to validate us just because we have the view. Why do you need validation from the opposing side? See, that's where the fight comes in. If I'm a heterosexual male and you're a homosexual male, why do you need to validate? Why do I need to validate you? You don't need to validate me. I'm not requiring that you validate me. That's not my concern. Your validation of me. I need to validate myself. As a matter of fact, I don't validate myself. God validates me, and God will validate you. And we can function when we stop trying to seek validation from people. We can do better when we try to think about people in the way of they are human beings with a soul, and that all of us are here for a purpose. All of us are here for a divine purpose. All of us are here, and no matter what religion you believe in, you're here for a purpose. For me, my purpose is to glorify Jesus. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, it's in the presentation that others believe that we're oppressing them with that. But again, there's no reason to oppress anybody with that. You have the right not to believe or believe, and I don't have a right to shove it down your throat. There's an old saying: just because you can don't mean it's good. Like they say, all money is not good. Just because you're able, the Bible even teaches that all things are lawful, but all things aren't profitable or expedient. I can lawfully do stuff, but does it mean that I should? That it's going to be for my best interest or society's best interest, or it's just for my selfish interest? And there lies the problem, because what we have in America is a bunch of selfish people. Everybody does what is right in their own eyes, regardless of what's happening to the next person. Our news outlets are ridiculous because they'd rather be first than accurate. Nobody wants to apologize. Have you noticed that? Nobody wants to apologize and say that they're wrong. And you would think with a free country, you would be more apt and comfortable and acceptable when you say, look, you know what? All I saw it one way, but as I thought about it, I was wrong. Or maybe I made a mistake. But you can't say that, because that side that wants you to be visceral and angry doesn't want you to ever say you made a mistake. It doesn't want you to ever say that something is wrong. All it wants you to do is keep fighting. But what kind of fight are you fighting? To keep divided. You're not really, it sounds like they're fighting just to keep us together, but they're really fighting to keep us divided, because there's more money in division. There's a lot of money when there's riots, because there's people who make money off of putting up billboards and trying to rebuild. There's more money in regentrification than letting people buy their homes and own their homes. In my own community right now, we have a whole area to where these African Americans own their own homes, have owned them for almost 2-3 generations now, and now they want to, and there's nothing wrong with them, but they want to come and put a big box store, and they say that's progress. So now that generational wealth of having a home can't be realized for these people there, because they bought out the homes and just gave them cash, and now there's nothing to pass on but the cash. And we know that cash in the hands of someone who's not used to it, you might as well pour it out the window. Things are being systematically done to remove the independence of thinking from our society. And we must try to fight that. It's okay to have a thought that's different from mine. If you don't agree with me, that's great. Say it in the comments, but why do you have to be so visceral about it? If you have a point that needs to be proven that's valid, why do you need to be so angry about it? Even inside the body of Christ, people are fighting and angry at each other. And again, you get more clicks and views, and eventually YouTube will give you more money because people want to see the fight. They want to see the hate, but nobody wants to see the love. Nobody wants to see the sacrifice. So that's why when we put on the news, somebody did something for somebody else, it's one clip and it goes away. But most local news starts off with somebody getting shot, somebody getting murdered, somebody getting killed, some crime, because that grabs your attention, and then they lead you into wherever else they want you to go. Always the negative. What do you guys think about the border? What's really going on at the border? I had some friends down in Texas and they were telling me it's ridiculous. I mean, common sense. Why can't anybody wants to come to this country, don't matter who they are, come in the way the law says they can come in? But we don't have the manpower to do that. So one side says build a wall. The other say let them in because it's wrong to keep them out. And isn't there a happy medium? Isn't there a medium where we could still protect our borders and really allow these people who say they're escaping treachery and poverty and the possibility of death to legally take their time and be amalgamated into our country and our society through the laws? The ones in Cuba the same way. And it's interesting, we don't want to treat the Cubans like we want to treat the ones coming from South America. Something's wrong with that whole picture. Where's the real thinkers about this? But again, there's more money in the argument. I can come on right now, start an argument with a whole bunch of people, and it'll be shared, liked, and I'll get subscribers. But that's not my motive. You know what I want? I believe in Jesus Christ, and I'm not going to deny that. Because if I deny him before you guys, he'll deny me. But I'm going to tell you what. If you really believe in Jesus Christ, you will understand that the greatest commandment is love your neighbor as yourself. And if you would spend half the time loving your neighbor as yourself, because the assumption is that you love yourself a lot, there will be no crime. There will be no division. There will be unity. Communism and all that socialism, it works on paper because it takes out the human greed. So that's why that's not the answer. See, all that stuff, when you write it down where everybody had the same thing, that's fine on paper. But past paper into reality and people's life, it doesn't work because somebody is going to always want more, or they're going to look at the person who gets more than they do for the same labor and says they deserve less because I've worked more. And that's fair. But socialism and communism on paper doesn't take that factor of wanting to achieve in for yourself and places the achievement should be shared with the community. The redistribution of wealth. What's the point in that? So somebody does whatever it takes, and again, I ain't gonna start no fight between whether it was good, bad, or ugly. They've done what they've done, and they are millionaires and billionaires, and you want them because they've been innovative. Because I mean, I remember Amazon was just a bookstore, so you want the Bales guy, you want him to redistribute his wealth and lower his value, and he took the risk because in this thing that we call redistribution, we take those who are rewarded and redistribute among those who don't have it, right? But do we redistribute when they fail? Do we keep them propped up to keep trying to succeed when they fail? Do we only redistribute the wealth or do we distribute the losses too? So you got to think about these things. There's a few of us out here that have enough luxury time that when we can think about these things. There's even sayings that you could judge your success by who your enemies are. Have we got that sick in society where our enemies define our relationship with God? In the secular world, the fight that continues. Wokeism. Do you really believe that someday that there's somebody's going to write a check and give it to you because of the slavery that happened? Do you really believe that? Do you believe defunding the police and putting stuff in programs is going to stop crime? Do you believe really that more gun laws is going to stop the criminals from getting guns and killing people? I mean, we can't be that stupid. You want to make it hard on the legitimate gun owner, and the criminal doesn't get guns like the legitimate gun owner. And this is the thing. The criminals used to get hot guns. Now they're getting brand new guns in the box. There's somebody who's getting guns and selling them to the criminals right out the box. And the only people could do that is people with means, methods, and ways of transportation. I mean, we can't be that stupid. We ain't talking about the guy. Ain't no more of this snub nose 38 with duct tape wrapped around it. These criminals got fully automatic weapons. They got the best pistols, and they're getting them from somebody. What happened to the fight against the cartels? What happened to the fight against the fentanyl that's coming into our country? We mention it for a moment and then it goes on. What about the opioid epidemic in our country that's killing a whole bunch of people? But that's taken, see, shiny things. It, our news comes so fast that we can't concentrate on any one thing and get it solved. We got to move on to the next thing. You get 2 minutes on this, and then you got to move on to something else because here comes something else that they want to put out that's more important. And my question to you is, what's more important than people dying every day? What's more important than that? So I just came on here to test my mic and talk about some things. Like usual, I'll be. You can expect a encouraging word on Monday. Service on Sunday at 8:30. That'll be on live on our Walking Truth Radio Net, Walking Truth Christian Fellowship Facebook page. Let Us Reason Together page, Facebook page, and my personal James Sutton page. Hey, look at the content that we have. Our encouraging words, our lessons. Like, subscribe, and share. Let people know that there is a place where we can discuss things openly and not get vulgar. And I'm working on that. I'll be able to take phone calls and but if you respond with a comment, I will get back with you to talk to you about that. And just remember, you know, check us out. Let me know. Maybe we're not your cup of tea, but it's okay. There's room for us all. Think about that. I always say this. I always want you to be encouraged, blessed, and at peace. And always remember, walk in the truth. So thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. And you have a blessed weekend.